Hello everyone. In today's session, we will talk about MCP servers. We will use MCP Inspector as a client, and I will show you different types of MCP servers. Currently, there are three types of MCP servers. The first one is Standard IO. The second one is SSE, which is server-side events. And the last one is Streamable HTTP. In today's session, we will talk about SSE, which is server-side event. So we will create this MCP server from scratch. In Azure Function, we will test it locally, and we will also deploy it on Azure and test it from there. I have already created one, and just for this demo, I will show you how it works. First thing you need to do is connect to the one. So this is my existing server, which is currently running. I will hit on connect. So once it is connected, it shows you as connected. Then you can go to the list tools. It will show you all the tools available in that MCP server. For example, this one, Hello World. I can click on this one and I can run it and I can see the output. I can hit this one as well and it gives me a JSON. We will talk about this in detail. And if I copy this one and click on the third tool, it's asking for a prompt, and I can give this prompt and run this tool, and I can get this input as well. So we will create this MCP server from scratch, and let's get started. I have already created a function. In my previous video, I created a trigger, which was this invoice automation HTTP trigger, but this trigger is not used in this demo, so we don't need to worry about this. The first thing you need to do is just create a folder. We call it tools. Okay, let's create an Azure function. We call it MCP tools. You can select HTTP trigger. Hello world tool. And this is not an HTTP trigger anymore. This needs to be MCP tool trigger. So MCP tool trigger doesn't exist. So you need to add a package. Make sure you have checked this one, include pre-release. And this would be Microsoft.Azure functions .worker extensions .mcp. This one. So this is in a preview version currently, so that's why we had to check this checkbox. So install this package. Okay, so the package has been installed, and now go back to your tools file. So that will now become MCP tools tool trigger. Okay. The next, we can remove this one. So that is hello world. So this is the name visible when we go to the inspector tool. So that's a name, and then we have to provide some description. Description is very important. So that description is something that AI can read and understand what this tool does. In our case, this is just hello world. Okay, then we don't need this HTTP request. So this will be tool invocation context. Okay. We can leave the logging here, and the return would be a string for us. So we don't need this. Okay, so that looks good to me. Let's debug, build and run it. Okay, build is fine. Now let's run it. Okay, so it has discovered MCP tool trigger, which is what we were expecting. And now let's run the inspector tool. Okay, our tool is now running fine. The next thing we need to do is run the inspector tool. So you go to Google and type MCP Inspector. This will take you to the MCP official website, and in the npm package, copy this whole line. But before that, just open a command prompt. So this needs npm package. So you need to check if you have already installed it. So npx. So give me this version install. I think this was installed when I installed the Visual Studio. So just copy this whole line, not complete line, just this part, and paste it here. Okay, so this has opened MCP Inspector tool for us. Make sure you check the SSE, which is what we are doing in this demo. So go to your function app, and you will see there are two URLs. So the first one is MCP Server endpoint, and the second one is MCP Server legacy SSE point. In this demo, we are working on this. So let's copy that one and paste into URL, and just click on connect. Okay, so it has been connected. Then click on list tools. It will show all the tools. Currently we have hello world only. So click on hello world, and then you can run from here. So this is the output of that. If you want to debug it, just put a breakpoint, run tool, and then you can easily debug it. Okay, so that's it. We have created the hello world tool, and now let's create a few more tools. Okay, let's copy this one, the existing one, and we call it get support data. Let me show you the file we want to return, or the data we want to return. So in one of my previous video, I talk about this CSV file. So I have asked ChatGPT to convert this CSV file into the JSON file. And this JSON file is very simple. It has one prompt and one completion attribute. So prompt is the question, and the completion is just the answer. So it is support related question and answer, and there are a couple of hundreds of these. So you can ask ChatGPT and generate this file, or let me know, I can upload it somewhere. So that would be get support data. And then we can rename this to same function. So this would become get support data. And then the description would be this tool runs a list of support question and answers. Okay, and now we need to read the content of that file. And for that, I already have a storage account which I created in previous demos. Go to container. In previous videos, we created this invoice automation container. So create a new one. Let's call it MCP data. And just upload a file. You can upload it anywhere. I'm just using this storage account. Okay, now we need to change the access level. I want to make it anonymous. It says it's blocked, can't be set. So you need to go to storage account main page, and blob anonymous access is disabled. You can enable it. Go to your container, go to MCP, and now we can change the access level to for this blob, just for this blob. Okay, so click on that and copy the URL, and we should be able to download it without any authentication. Yep, so it's all working. Now let's go back to your code. So create a new project. You can name it whatever you want. I just leave it class library. Yeah, that's fine. And delete this class. I can add a new folder. Let's call it services. And because this is related to customer service, so I can create a new class called customer support service. And let's create a function. So that would be customer support, list of customer support data, which is what we have seen in that CSV file. So let's create a class, maybe create a new project. That would be class library as well. Or maybe we can just add a new folder here called entities. So that would be customer support entry. So we need two properties. The first one was prompt and completion. Okay, so that is done. We just copy the name and the name would be guest customer support entries. Okay, so now here we need to read that file from the container and get the data and return it. So we will use HTTP client, and then we can get the URL. So that will be complete URL and show status code. Yes, read as string is fine. And then that's entries, and then just simply return it. If we call a public function here, okay, so that looks good. The only thing is in the CSV file, these are lowercase, and in the entity class we created, these are uppercase. So we might need to add something in the options. So maybe here. So that's not that options. JSON serializer options. This one. Yeah, case insensitive, and we need to pass this option when we deserialize it. That's it. Okay, so that's all good. Now we need to call this function from the tool we have created. So we need to reference that service class we created. So that was Customer support service. Yeah, add a reference to the class library. There is a shortcut way of doing this dependency injection. So that would be just use this and use this here, and then we don't need this all. I think that's much better. Okay, so this is not returning string now, so that would be task of list of customer support entry. Okay, so that is looking good. And I think we can now run it. Commercial why is showing error. And we need to stop. Oh yeah, I think it was showing error because the function app was stopped. Okay, I think this URL is still correct. Just click on connect and list tools, and it is showing our support data. Click on that, and if everything is okay, then this should hit the debugger, and then we can see. No, okay. So we need to add that service as dependency injection. So that would be builder dot services dot add singleton. Yeah, run again. Okay, it is hitting the debugger. Yeah, looks like we got something. Yeah, looking fine to me. Well, the completion is null and the prompt is fine. Let's have a look. Possibly I misspelled it. reconnect, and it should work now. Okay, fantastic. So we have received an array of objects, and every object contains a prompt and a completion. So that is what we were expecting. So in this tool, we are displaying a complete list of all JSON data. The next we will create, we will pass this prompt, and the next tool should return the completion. So let's go back to your function. Yeah, maybe copy this thing. So that would be prompt completion. And this is not a list. And the trigger tool will be get prompt completion. And this tool returns an answer based on the question. Okay, so we can leave this as is. And now we have to pass the prompt. So the prompt, how we pass the prompt as a string parameter is that is called MCP tool property. The name would be prompt. Type would be string, and the description of that being get prompt completion based on the prompt, or maybe get completion based on the prompt. And the last thing would be the prompt which you are passing. And this needs to be in double quotes. And I think that's it. And now we need to make change in this function. Not in this function, we will create a new one. So we are not returning a list. We are just returning a string. So that will take string prompt. So this would be a list of this, all entries. Okay, so that is e dot prompt contains prompt, and from here we need to return the completion. And if it is not found, then we can say, sorry, I did not find, I don't have any answer for that question. So that looks good. So what was the function name? Yeah. So we can rename it to get prompt or prompt completion. Okay, so this one is async, so we need to make it async. And this would be a string. Looks good. So let's put a breakpoint. So this returns, copy this. Okay, let's run it. Okay, we got the completion. So hello world works fine as expected. Support data returns a list of all prompts. We copy one prompt and we go prompt completion. And it should ask me a prompt. Something is not right. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's coming null. Let's have a look. Uh, so we have added a property which looks fine to me, and we have added a string prompt. So that looks fine. Maybe something. Okay, yeah, something looks like missing here. So that is the builder or enable MCP tools metadata. So that shows the property when we pass as a parameter. Let's run it and see. So we connect again, clear list, and now we can see this. If you go here, and get to prompt completion. Paste this one here and run tool. And this calls that. We can see that information coming in prompt. And yes, I am just using this contains operator, but you can change this logic. Request timeout. Maybe due to debugger. Here we go. So we got the answer back as well. So we created 3 tools. The first one was hello world. That doesn't do anything, just display the hello world. Then we created the support data, which returns a list of all question and answers. And then we have this prompt completion, which takes a prompt, and based on the prompt, it returns the answer. So this is all working fine locally. So the next thing we need to do is deploy into Azure. And let's do that. So the Azure function I have, which I have used in previous demo, has only one function deployed, which is invoice automation. We created in last few videos. Let's deploy it. Okay, has been deployed, and let's just refresh. Okay, so we can see 3 MCP tool trigger we have created. So we can see them here. Okay, so next thing we need to do is test this one through the client. We copy this domain name, which is default domain. Go to your MCP inspector, change this URL. So that would become something like this. And this part remains unchanged. Anything after runtime stays unchanged. So that's one change. The second change we need to do is when we call this function app, we need to have app keys. So go to app keys. You can see a section here for MCP extensions. Copy that. And at the end of this, just write code is equals to and paste that key. And I think that should be it. Let's try and connect. Make sure this is HTTPS and try again. Here we go. So this is now connected to the function app which we have deployed in Azure. You can call list tool, hello world, returns the data, get support data, and then you can pass this here and get the prompt. So this is all working. So there were 3 modes. We have tried SSE, but the recommended now is this one, stream HTTP, which we'll do in the next few sessions. But in the next session, we will try this standard IO, and we will also test it from this tool and also from the VS Code. When we go to the VS Code, we will try these two as well. Okay, so that looks good, and I think that's it for today. And in the next session, we'll look into a few more things. And if you like the video, Please subscribe. I have done my effort. Now it's your time to do your effort. Just like, subscribe, and put a comment if you need a question, if you need anything. And see you again in the next video. Bye.